Wellness Rhythm Show. Find your rhythm. Live your wellness.
Y'all, here's a question I genuinely did not expect to be asking myself this year. Is the reason I felt foggy and irritable all of last winter actually living in my gut?
Right, and the answer, at least partly, appears to be yes. There is now a substantial and growing body of research suggesting that the trillions of microorganisms in your digestive tract have a direct and measurable influence on your cognitive function and your mood.
Trillions, I always hear that word and need a second to let it land. We are not talking about a few helpful bacteria quietly doing their thing. We are talking about an ecosystem.
A genuinely complex one. And today, we are getting into what gut diversity actually means, why it matters for your brain specifically, and, critically, what you can realistically do about it without overhauling your entire life.
So let's start with the basics, because I think a lot of people hear microbiome and picture something vaguely sciencey on a yogurt label.
Fair. Right, here is what I have learned. Your gut microbiome is the collection of bacteria, fungi, viruses, and other microorganisms living in your digestive tract, primarily your large intestine. The key word today is diversity. Not just having good bacteria, but having a wide variety of different species.
And diversity is the thing that matters most?
Consistently, yes. Research from the Human Microbiome Project, which was a large-scale NIH initiative, found that greater microbial diversity is associated with better metabolic health, stronger immune function, and, this is the part relevant to today, improved psychological resilience.
Okay, so connect that to the brain for me, because that feels like a big leap on the surface.
It is actually quite direct. There is a structure called the gut-brain axis, a bidirectional communication network linking the enteric nervous system in your gut to the central nervous system. Essentially, your gut talks to your brain constantly.
And your brain talks back to your gut, which is why stress makes your stomach hurt.
Exactly. Dr. Emran Mayer at UCLA has done significant work on this. He describes the gut as a second brain, not metaphorically, but structurally. The enteric nervous system contains roughly 100 million neurons.
That is more neurons than are in your spinal cord. I read that and had to sit with it for a moment.
And here is where it gets directly relevant to mental performance. Around 90% of your body's serotonin, the neurotransmitter most people associate with mood regulation, is produced in the gut, not the brain.
So when I'm in a low mood or feeling mentally sluggish, my gut is literally part of that story.
Potentially a significant part. A 2019 study published in Nature Microbiology, led by researchers at KU Leuven in Belgium, found that specific gut bacteria, particularly Coprococcus and Dialister, were consistently depleted in people with depression, even after controlling for antidepressant use.
That's striking. Now, I want to be careful here because I know we are not in the business of saying fix your gut and fix your depression. That is not what this is.
Absolutely not. Correlation, not causation, and these are population-level associations. But the signal is consistent enough across multiple studies that ignoring it would be intellectually dishonest.
Here's the thing, though. Even if you set the clinical mental health angle aside entirely, there is a compelling case for gut diversity just in terms of everyday cognitive function. Focus, mental stamina, that afternoon brain fog situation.
Right, and that is where the practical conversation gets interesting. A 2021 review in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews looked at the relationship between microbiome composition and cognitive test performance. People with higher gut diversity consistently scored better on measures of memory and executive function.
Executive function being things like planning, prioritizing, not losing it completely when your kids have melted down and your inbox is at 200.
That is a precise technical definition, yes.
I thought so. Okay. And if you are enjoying this conversation and want more of it every week, this is a great moment to hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps us reach more people who could use an informed friend on this stuff.
Appreciated. So let's dig into what builds gut diversity, because this is where the research is surprisingly actionable.
Please, give me the actionable part.
The single most well-supported intervention is dietary fiber variety, not just quantity. Variety. A landmark study published in Cell in 2021 by researchers at Stanford, including Dr. Justin Sonnenberg and Dr. Christopher Gardner, compared high-fiber diets against high-fermented food diets. Both groups showed benefits, but the fermented food group showed faster and more pronounced increases in microbiome diversity.
So fermented foods, we are talking kimchi, sauerkraut, plain kefir, live culture yogurt.
Correct. And the fiber piece is about eating across a wide range of plant foods. The American Gut Project, which analyzed microbiome samples from thousands of participants, found that people who ate 30 or more different plant foods per week had significantly more diverse microbiomes than those eating 10 or fewer.
30 sounds like a lot until you realize herbs, spices, nuts, and seeds all count.
Which lowers the barrier considerably. A handful of walnuts, some flaxseed on your yogurt, a different grain, each one adds to the count.
I already add pumpkin seeds to my oatmeal in the mornings. That is one right there without even thinking about it.
And this connects to something worth addressing directly for the skeptics in the audience. Because the supplement industry has aggressively moved into this space. Probiotic sales in the US alone are now over $4 billion annually.
And I will be honest, I have things in my cabinet. I am not going to tell you what they are.
You really do not need to.
But here is the nuance, because I know I have made some optimistic purchases. The research on off-the-shelf probiotics is genuinely mixed.
Measured way to put it. The challenge is that most commercial probiotic supplements contain only a few strains, at doses that may or may not survive gastric acid and colonize the gut meaningfully. A 2022 review in Cell Host and Microbe concluded that food-based interventions consistently outperform isolated probiotic supplementation for long-term diversity.
So whole foods beat the pill in a bottle, which is maybe not what the wellness industry wants us to lead with.
It rarely is. Though specific clinical-grade probiotics do show evidence for specific conditions, Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG for certain gut infections, for instance. Context matters enormously.
Right, this is not anti-probiotic. It is pro-nuance.
Now, the other side of this, and this is the friction point I want to raise, is that stress itself actively disrupts gut diversity. Dr. John Cryan at University College Cork has published extensively on this. Chronic psychological stress alters gut permeability and shifts microbial composition toward less diverse, more inflammatory states.
Which means you can eat beautifully and still undermine your microbiome if you are living in a chronic stress state. That is a frustrating loop.
It is a genuine chicken and egg problem. Stress degrades the microbiome. A degraded microbiome amplifies stress responses and so on. But the intervention point exists at both ends, dietary and behavioral.
And behavioral meaning things like the slow exhale breathing, the walks, the sleep, all the stuff we keep coming back to.
Sleep specifically has a disproportionate effect. A 2023 study published in Cell Reports Medicine found that even short-term sleep restrictions significantly reduced microbial diversity and increased gut inflammation markers within 72 hours.
That should terrify people more than it does. 3 nights of poor sleep and your gut ecosystem is already shifting.
It recovers, but the point is that these systems are more responsive in both directions than most people assume.
Let's bring this home for the people in our audience who are in the sandwich generation, juggling aging parents and kids and a full-time job, because this is not a spend your Sunday doing elaborate meal prep conversation.
No, the evidence-based starting point is genuinely simple. Add 1 new plant food to what you are already eating each day for 2 weeks, not subtract. ADD, same principle you have applied before with anti-inflammatory eating.
Additive, not restrictive. I will take that every single time.
And add 1 fermented food daily. Even a small serving of live culture yogurt counts. The Stanford study showed meaningful microbiome changes in just 10 weeks with consistent modest intake.
10 weeks. That is 2.5 months of adding a spoonful of sauerkraut to dinner. That is doable.
It is, and for listeners caring for older parents, this matters for them too. Research from the APC Microbiome Ireland Institute has found that microbial diversity declines significantly with age, and that dietary intervention in older adults can partially reverse this decline and is associated with reduced inflammatory markers.
Which connects directly to cognitive aging. The same pathways.
The same pathways.
Okay, if I had to give y'all one thing to walk away with today, it is this. Plant variety is your most powerful lever, not a specific supplement, not an expensive protocol, just genuinely widening the range of plants on your plate over time. Your gut notices.
And if you want a number to anchor to, aim for 30 different plant foods across a week. It sounds ambitious until you start counting. Most people are closer than they think.
I love that. Closer than you think. That is the whole show, honestly.
In 4 words, essentially yes.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. If this episode gave you something useful, please do hit like and subscribe wherever you're listening. It makes a real difference. We will see y'all next time.
Take care of your gut. It is apparently taking care of quite a lot.
This show is part of the VoxCrea.ai system. If you want a show like this for your organization without building it yourself,
go to voxcrea.ai and request a sample episode.